Imagine a perfect world where man walked with God and every breath of wind was like a hymn of worship. Now imagine that same world overrun by giants, hybrid monsters, violence, and bloodshed crying out from the earth. From the splendor of Eden to the destruction of the flood, humanity experienced its first great fall. This is not just an ancient story, it is a prophetic mirror for our times. If you watch it to the end, you will understand how the past points to the present, and how God has already prepared the only ark of salvation to escape the judgment to come. In the beginning, Eden was not just a garden, but the first temple of humanity. Its trees were living columns, its rivers were songs of life, and man was the priest charged with caring for the sacred. The tree of life symbolized the eternal communion, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was the limit of obedience. Adam and Eve lived in perfect harmony with God. There was no pain, no tears, no death. The Creator's presence was so real that each step was like walking within an eternal song. But all it took was a whisper for everything to be shattered. The serpent offered not only the fruit, but the promise of autonomy, of being like God without depending on Him. And so, Eden ceased to be home and became a memory. The flaming sword at the entrance was not only a barrier, but a symbol of the separation between heaven and earth. Humanity experienced for the first time the weight of the fall, shame, pain, death, and distance from the Creator. Eden represents what humanity has lost, the full presence of God. Sin is, above all, a broken relationship. Humanity grew, but it grew in sin. Eve gave birth to Cain, who killed his brother Abel. The blood of the innocent cried out from the earth, announcing that violence would be the mark of humanity. Cain was condemned to wander, but his descendants prospered in cities, weapons, and music. Human progress flourished, but spirituality withered. Lamech, a descendant of Cain, boasted of his violence, saying, "I killed a man for wounding me. If Cain is avenged sevenfold, I will be avenged 70 times sevenfold." Man without God always multiplies knowledge, but not wisdom. Progress without holiness breeds pride, and pride breeds destruction. But God did not stop working. From Seth came a lineage that still sought the Lord. Small torches of faith lit the darkness, keeping the flame of promise alive. Then something even darker happened. Celestial beings called Watchers descended to earth. On Mount Hermon, 200 of them made a rebellious pact. "We will not return without taking human wives." They broke God's established order and consorted with the daughters of men. From that union were born the Nephilim, giants of fame and terror. They were not only great in stature, they were tyrants, insatiable, and domineering. They ate the fruit of the earth, devoured animals, and when nothing remained, they turned against mankind itself. Entire peoples were sacrificed to them. The Nephilim represent the result of the mingling of the sacred with the profane. When God's boundaries are broken, monsters are born, not just physical, but moral and spiritual. The Watchers taught mankind forbidden arts. Azazel revealed how to forge swords, how to cast spells, how to manipulate life. War became art, lust became religion, and knowledge was corrupted. In the midst of this corruption, there was a different man, Enoch. He walked with God when the whole world walked against him. His eyes saw beyond the natural, and his dreams were messages from heaven. Enoch prophesied, "The Lord will come with thousands of his holy ones to judge the wicked. The Watchers will be chained, the giants will fall, and the earth will be washed with water." The people mocked, but Enoch wouldn't back down. Until one day, he disappeared. God took him for his own. His departure was a sign that life doesn't end in dust, but that there is hope beyond death. Enoch represents the faithful church, which will be removed before the judgment. He is proof that walking with God is walking toward eternity. The heavens stirred in war. Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel descended as warriors of light. Giants were slain, the watchers were chained and cast into abysses of darkness. But even so, humanity did not repent. Men built towers to defy the heavens. Women sacrificed children on altars of blood. Violence flowed like rivers, and the Creator declared, "The end of all flesh has come. I will rain judgment upon the earth." Noah was righteous in his generation. Silent and hard-working, he sought to hear the voice of the Most High. One night, the heavens opened, and God spoke. "Build an ark of wood. Inside it, I will save my life." Noah trembled, but obeyed. Every hammer blow was a sermon, every nail driven a warning. The people laughed and mocked. "A ship where there is no sea." But Noah persevered. Animals began to appear, guided by God, lions alongside lambs, birds alongside serpents. The people scoffed, but signs appeared. The moon turned red, winds blew in all directions, and a fine rain fell in places where it had never rained before. On the seventh day, the ark's door closed by itself. The people fell silent. Then the first drops fell. But it was no ordinary rain. Rivers tumbling from the sky, underground springs gushing from the depths. Mountains disappeared, trees were uprooted, cities vanished. Giants cried out, "We are eternal," but were swallowed by the waters. For 40 days and 40 nights, the entire earth was covered. Inside the ark, Noah embraced his family, while outside, humanity cried out in despair. Judgment had come. The flood is a baptism of creation. Just as the ark saved Noah, Christ is the ark of salvation. Whoever abides in him will not be touched by eternal judgment. When the waters receded, the ark came to rest on Mount Ararat. Noah went out, built an altar, and sacrificed to the Lord. Then God promised, "Never again will I destroy all life with water." In the sky, a rainbow shone, a sign of the new covenant. It was not just a natural phenomenon, but a divine signature in the firmament. The rainbow is Christ, the bridge between heaven and earth, the mediator of the new covenant. He is the sign that mercy triumphs over judgment. This isn't just an old story, it's a prophetic warning, just as in the days of Noah. Today we see violence, corruption, and a world that forgets God. But just as then, there is still an ark. The difference is that now the ark is not made of wood. It is made of the sacrifice of God's Son. The flood purified the earth, but only Christ can purify the heart. The greatest question that echoes is, have you entered the ark yet?